Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. It is 9 o'clock. Thanks for waking up with us here on 13 Sunrise. I'm Matthew Foltz alongside Lindsay Monroe. She's back with us after a vacation. How was it?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Went a little south where the warmer weather was, there's not a lot of warm weather across the U.S. this past week. It's pretty brutal, but I did bring some warmer weather back with me.
We certainly appreciate that. So what are we looking like?
At least more seasonal today. So yesterday was kind of that transitional period where we didn't get that warm, but we did get above freezing for the first time in 6 days. We had a high of 34 yesterday, and today we are going to be more seasonal with highs back in the 40s. With that being said, though, if you've been outside already today, you know it is still pretty cold. Here's a live look out on the west side of town along I-70 near the airport in Ameriplex Parkway, where you can still see we've got quite a bit of snow on the ground. I believe a lot of that's going to start to melt away today, but until our temperatures start to rise, do be on the lookout for the potential of some slick spots still on things like bridges and overpasses, those elevated surfaces that could still refreeze. Now, to our south, we've got this area of high pressure. That's going to change up our wind direction for today. That brings in more of a southwesterly wind component, which helps to bring in more mild air. And right now we're already running 10 degrees warmer than where we were at this time yesterday. So with that being said, it's still 27, still below freezing, but we have kicked off a nice warming trend. Now that the sun is up, we're going to combine the sunshine with that southwest wind flow, and that's going to help to warm things up. 27 here in the city, same deal in Muncie. It's 28 in Bloomington right now. We see mostly sunny skies as we eventually approach 44 for a forecast high today. And then you'll notice this evening, not going to get quite as cold as most of us hold steady near the freezing mark during the overnight. We are back in the 50s starting tomorrow and several days in the 50s next week. We'll talk more about that warming trend in the full forecast.
All right, we'll see you then, Lindsay. This morning, we're reaching out to state police for more information on multiple crashes. The first is a deadly crash along I-70 in Wayne County. It happened around 9:30 last night near Richmond. This is a look of what the scene looked like at the time. Eastbound lanes off of I-70 were closed at the time, and traffic had to be diverted to US 35. Well, that section of I-70 is now back open this morning, and once we learn more on what led up to this crash, we'll share those details both on air and online at WTHR.com. We're also working to get more information this morning on a serious crash that happened last night near Raymond Street. All lanes of southbound I-65 are back open this morning following this crash. We do know there were injuries in this, but we're still reaching out to state police this morning to see just how serious those injuries may be. We'll keep you posted as soon as we learn more. This morning, we have new information on a death investigation in Northwest Indiana. A family of 5 was found shot to death inside of a mobile home park. Right now, police in Lake Station, Indiana, are calling this an apparent murder-suicide. The coroner's office says the victims are 27-year-old Brianna Payne, 7-year-old Aurora Payne, 6-year-old Ava, and 4-year-old Elena. They died from apparent gunshot wounds, and their deaths are now ruled a homicide. Authorities say their father, 31-year-old Robert Payne, took his own life. Sandy Goodman lived next door to the family and says she can barely sleep just thinking about how terrified the little girls may have been.
I knew there was something weird because the cars weren't moved, and they go every day. When they went in and came back out, I'm like, oh my gosh, something really bad happened.
Now, police were called to the home to do a welfare check Friday afternoon after getting a search warrant. That's when they found the family dead inside of the home. Well, your time is now 9:04. Right now, there's a new push, or a big push, I should say, for safety for people walking and biking across Indianapolis. This comes after a cyclist was recently hit and killed on Indy's southeast side. This happened near Raymond and Shelby Streets, and family and friends of Dylan Rogers came together yesterday to remember his life. Dylan's family tells us that he was riding his bike home Thursday on the same route he takes every day, but that ride would be his last. Dylan was hit and killed by a driver at that intersection.
Dylan told me that when you see those white bikes, it means someone was killed here or someone had an accident there. I never imagined that he would have to have one, but
Yeah, just so heartbreaking. Bike Indianapolis donated a bike to stand as a memorial. Several other bikers got together yesterday to finish Dylan's ride home. They say drivers have to watch out for more bicyclists and pedestrians and make sure they move over on the road to give them enough space. And just hours before that visual, another person was hit and killed on the city's northeast side. We first brought you this as breaking news yesterday right here on 13 Sunrise. Metro Police say they found a man hit by a car at 65th and Shaylin around 5 o'clock yesterday morning. He died at the scene. Metro Police say the driver did stay on scene and cooperate with detectives. The driver was taken to the hospital for a blood draw, which is standard procedure, but police say the driver showed no signs of impairment. Well, your time is now 9:05. Right now, dozens of young people are coming together, and they came together yesterday afternoon to talk about issues impacting their daily lives. Everything from violence to mental health to family dynamics. Our Marina Silva has their story.
This gym inside a neighborhood center is filled on a Saturday afternoon as kids, teens, and adults participated in a conversation they hope sparks change.
It takes a village to raise a child.
Jay Sean Wright was one of the young adults at the event called True Dialogue.
It's a space for kids to have a conversation, maybe not be with their parents, but can be with a respected community mentor or servant.
Young Hoosiers discuss things like mental health, youth violence, and their families.
If we're just having these conversations at our home and it's not getting to an uncle, a cousin, a family member, a friend, then we can't guarantee that a kid we care about down the street will be taken care of because we don't know what's going on in their life.
Brandon Randall is the founder of True Colors Consulting. He helped put on this forum, giving younger generations a voice.
A lot of times we don't hear from young people, and sometimes their silence or their lived experiences are minimized or erased.
Wright says these conversations, no matter how emotional, should happen.
As a black male, we aren't taught to cry. We are told you shouldn't cry. That's the biggest lie known to man. We first need to cry and have an emotional intelligence behind our emotions, which would ultimately cause us not to make self-centered decisions and decisions that will ultimately risk our lives or risk the lives of others.
All with the hope of sparking change in their own community. In Indianapolis, Marina Silva, 13 News.
True Dialogue first started in 2017, and Wright tells 13 News that this year had its best attendance yet. Well, applying for a college financial aid or loan can be challenging. And as today, we see that families will get some guidance all for free. Financial aid experts will be at 39 sites across Indiana for College Goal Sunday. They'll help you fill out FAFSA forms to qualify for state and federal aid. So if you need more incentives, get this. 5 students who attend will win a $1,000 educational prize. We have a list of those locations right now at our website at WTHR.com/SeenOn13. Well, we're warming up a little bit this week, and we do know that the outdoor season will be here before we know it. And today you can get ready at the Boat Sport and Travel Show. It wraps up today over at the State Fairgrounds. You can get fishing tips from legendary anglers and plan your next getaway. There's also more than 5 acres of RVs on display to show off the latest technology. The show runs today from 10 o'clock this morning until 5 this evening. Also happening today downtown, rock hounds and fossil lovers, you can check out GeoFest. This is the event's 22nd year over at the Indiana State Museum. It features 3 floors of crystals, fossils, and rocks, along with family-friendly activities. More than 25 vendors are also set up. It's one of the museum's most popular events for visitors, packing the place every year.
I think because even our youngest visitors, they start collecting rocks at such a young age. So we get our 2-year-olds that are so into it all the way to our, senior citizens that are very into their own collection. So it really appeals to all ages.
Sounds pretty cool to me. GeoFest runs from 10 to 5 today, and it is included with admission to the State Museum.